and then he started to come by himself. Like, for example, he had the key of each room, and just in the middle of the night, he come to my room and have sex with me. Then, and you cannot run away. You cannot say I don't want, because if you say I don't want, he said you didn't overcome your flesh. It's the time to serve, and I will say I cannot do it because I have menstruation. And because we are mature, they didn't do these cruel things that they have done to the girls that they're younger. So Atjag came to the girls and said, "I want to check your panty if there is napkin or not."
And after all, you said that Pastor had free access to the rooms. He even had keys to the rooms. So about the schedule that you mentioned, Miss Julia, do you mean Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday? It was a young girl or a young and beautiful woman. No rest day. Every day there was somebody scheduled.
Yeah,
Sa mga testimonya na ng mga victim survivors, sinexually abuse nyo ba ang mga babae at mga menor de edad? At ginamit nyo ba ang relihiyon para i-sexually abuse
wala
sila?
Wala pong katotohanan yung kanilang mga sinabi.
Magandang araw sa inyo mga kabida. Welcome back sa ating channel. Ukrainian victim na si alias Sofia, inaming araw-araw di umanong pumapasok sa kanilang kwarto itong si Pastor Kibuloy para lang makipagtalik sa kanila. At sa buong linggo ay wala di umano itong palya. Ang tibay din naman pala ng stamina nitong si Kibuloy. Isa pang testigo na nakaligtas sa malaimpyernong kingdom ng pastor. Ibinunyag kung paano siya nakatakas. Narito ang kanyang mga pahayag.
Joining our hearing live from Ukraine. Just to refresh our memory, let's listen to Julia's video. And after that, she is here to answer any other questions that we might have. So let's just view again Julia's video at that time as alias Sofia.
I was about 21 years old. It was 2014. And
where did you stay?
I stay in a dorm, like a building, a separate building. And most of the people there was Ukrainian.
Tell me how your relationship with Pastor Kiboloy developed or unfolded.
At first, our relationship was very good, very warm, very friendly. I didn't feel everything like, oh, he's like me. No, there's nothing about that. And transfer me in one room. I live with the Jack Roy. She's pastoral and one of the closest, like she's very close to pastor. And I live with her in one room. And little by little, some girls like Jack Roy and other girls of pastorals are Filipino. They used to fellowship to me like, are you ready to sacrifice everything to God, to the Father, like pastor? Of course, I already sacrificed. I leave my job, I leave my school, I leave my friends and my parents. I already sacrificed a lot of, so what do you mean? I cannot understand, because I already sacrificed and it's the life that I choose and I live, and I believe that this is God's way for me. So, and they were just like, even your body, you can sacrifice.
Yes, good morning, Miss Julia. Thank you for joining us in the hearing.
Thank you.
Can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Miss Julia. Before some of my follow-up questions about your the previous video and also with your presence with us today, could I just quickly ask, in the video you mentioned Jack Roy. Can you confirm if she is here today in the hearing, if she is to the right or to the left of Pastor? Can you confirm where if Jack Roy is
right
here?
Between Attain Grit and Ipaw.
So is she the one on camera right now with glasses?
Yes, yes, she's the one.
So that's the Jack Roy you mentioned in your previous video.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Miss Yulia. How many Ukrainian pastorals did Kiboloy have when you were there?
It's about 10, I think.
10.
Uh,
All right, including yourself. So 10. You and about nine
Yeah,
others.
about 10. Yeah, not if I will count. Yeah, it's about 10.
About 10. All right. And what do you think would happen if you refuse to have sex with Apollo Kiboloy? What do you think would happen?
Actually, we try to to avoid this kind of service, but because when you believe that he is the Son of God, and you will do whatever he wants us to do, and if you afraid, like if you will try to excuse me, I didn't practice my English for a very long time.
It's all
If
right.
if you will try to deny, they will punish you. And there is a lot of really psychological instrument that they will use on you. That even one day will not be enough to mention everything. They will punish and call us, scold us for a meeting, and put us in shame, that saying that we are ungrateful because pastor give us everything, and you just don't want to give sacrifice your body like Jesus Christ sacrificed. And of course they always will use the Bible as an instrument to convince us to do it.
Miss Yulia, you told us something very important. You said that nobody can deny that there was such a thing as a pastoral ministry. You told us that twice. And you said that if you refused to give those kinds of service, that sexual service, as you tried to do several times, that you would be punished, including
Yeah,
through psychological instruments. Yes, you
yeah,
said that they
yeah.
they could try to twist your mind. Uh, what kind of psychological punishments and what other kinds of punishments did they impose on you if you try to deny this kind of sexual service?
Like as I said, there was a schedule, and there is one time I tried to deny because one day he said that I will change my rule, so I will not be the one to call you. Who will be the one tonight to present yourself to me? But I want you to be voluntarily to come to the Jack and to put yourself in the list. And me and some other Ukrainian girls whom I know, we like said like we never go and put our names in the schedule. And then because he said, Mr. Kiboloy said that I want to see those who are really doing that willingly and who is not. And me and some other girls have a separate room in the pastoral ministry. And after he waited 1 week, 2 weeks, or about 1 month, I don't remember exactly, but there is such a time that nobody from us asked to do this ministry. And then he started to come by himself. Like, for example, he had the key of each room, and just in the middle of the night, he come to my room and have sex with me. Then and you cannot run away. You cannot say I don't want, because if you say I don't want, he said, and if you will not obey, you will go to hell, like things like that. And other night, we have all dinner together, and I feel that by the way he look at me, I understand that this night he might come. So I didn't sleep in my room. I go in other room, and in the middle of the night, he was looking for me, and he find me in girls in the room, the girls live all together. So because in my mind, I thought that he will not come if we are many. But he come and he said, you have 5 minutes to come back in your room. And if you will not come, you will have a problem in the morning. So different kind of instrument they used. I know there's like, for example, other girls who said that, and also me, I use this as an instrument. Like, for example, it's the time to surf, and I will say I cannot do it because I have menstruation, and because we are mature, they didn't do these cruel things that they have done to the girls that they're younger. So Atjag came to the girls and said, I want to check your panty, if there is napkin or not. And the girls just remove their pants to prove that they're not lying. So of course he knows that we are not willing that to do it, and we are forcing that to do it, and we don't want to do it. But
Yes.
he likes the most girls he like. It's those who try to deny, because he said, I want you to overcome your flesh. I want you to be on the next spiritual level when flesh are nothing to you. Like, for example,
And after all, you said that Pastor had free access to the rooms. He even had keys to the rooms. So about the schedule that you mentioned, Miss Julia, do you mean Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday? It was a young girl or a young and beautiful woman. No rest day. Every day there was somebody scheduled.
yeah, there's for every night he never stay alone. And all the girls that were living in pastoral area, they like they have this kind of ministry. Someone have just several times to experience that, and some have to do it like all the time, like almost every week.
And you also mentioned another important thing earlier, Miss Julia, that nobody, even some of the full-time workers, nobody knows pastor's life behind those doors, behind the doors of the pastorals. You also mentioned Jack or Jacqueline Roy as your groomer. How did she groom you?
At first, it's a long story, because in order to do it, it's not a very quick way. So I will try to make it short.
Yes,
Like
please.
when I was in transferred to a pastoral area and I started to live with Atejak, I was very new. I even didn't know English, any word of English, and he was very in hurry to pull me in pastoral to pastoral ministry. And there was one time Atejak, it was night, and she called me and she said like he wants to talk to you. And I came to his room, and he have Russian Bible. He opened Russian Bible, and because he cannot talk to me in English. And he said, I want you to read this verse in Russian. So I opened this Bible, and there was a verse, I don't know how to say it in English, translate in English. It's about, there's a scripture about to sacrifice your body. And he was trying to ask me, are you ready to sacrifice like your body? And he put his finger on the bed, because we were sitting on the chair before the bed. And he showing to the bed, and he started to pull me. And then I was, because I was very new and everything that I know about him was good. And I get scared, I get shocked, because I like in my mind, this is really what he mean by pulling me to the bed. And I run away from the room, and there's a garage in front of Bible school. But in that time there was some payan,
a big place with a lot of stuff. And I ran away because where I can go, I'm in other country, where I will go. So I ran away and I hide myself there. And I was just crying because I was thinking how to go home. I get a problem, and who can help me to go out of this? And then when it's already morning, of course, I have to appear where I cannot stay there forever. And when I come back to the room, Ate Jack was very mad to me.
So at this point, kung pwede ko nang tawagin yung isa sa mga victim survivors na magsasalita sa atin ngayong hapon, alias Miss Marie. Willing po ba kayo magbahagi ng karanasan mo? Briefly, pero ano yung pinaka-importanting, yung kwentong buhay mo na gusto mong sabihin sa aming komite? You have the floor.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, Senator Risa Hontiveros, and everybody present in this hall. Ako, alias Marie Josephine, Filipino, nasa legal na edad at naninirahan sa Davao City. Matapos na makanumpa ng naaayon sa batas ay malaya at kusang loob na naglalahad ng mga sumusunod. Ako ay dating membro ng Kingdom of Jesus Christ o KOJC simula nung ako ay grade 5. Naging membro ako ng KOJC dahil in-endorse ako ng aking mama matapos siyang maging avid televiewer ni Pastor Kibuloy sa kanyang mga programa at enrollment iyon ng pasukan. Ayon sa kagustuhan ng mama ko, napagdesisyonan niyang ilagay ako sa KOJC para mapunta ako sa safe environment kasi natatakot siya na may mangyari raw masama sa akin kasi may itsura daw ako. Sa pagkakaalala ko, noong June 2013, dinala ako ng mama ko sa KOJC. Nag-attend kami ng Thanksgiving and worship presentation sa KOJC Cathedral. Napaka-welcoming ng mga membro ng KOJC sa amin kasi kusa naman kaming nag-attend ng service worship nila. Sa pagkakataong iyon, nakuha namin ang atensyon ni Nelly Canada na sa pagkakaalam ko ay may mataas na katungkulan sa Jose Maria College o JMC bilang Dean o Administrator. Pagkatapos ng worship, in-invite kami ni Mama na ipakilala kay Kibuloy sa dating Victoria's Building kung saan doon kumakain si Kibuloy at malalapit sa kanya pagkatapos ng worship. Nelly Canada let us meet Pastor and endorse ako ni Mama kay Kibuloy. Habang kumakain sila Kibuloy, kasama ang mga pastorals sa isang malaking round table, nag-usap ng saglit ang mama ko at si Kibuloy. And Nelly Canada also let me meet Pastor Kibuloy. Sa aking pagkakaalala, 12 years old ako that time. Nasa grade 5 ako noon. Narinig ko si Kibuloy na sinabihan si Nelly Canada na patirahin ako sa dorm. Sa pagkakataong iyon, natuwa ako kasi sa isip ko magkakaroon ako ng freedom since medyo hindi naman kami in good terms ni Mama. Ipinakita sa amin ang mga kwarto doon sa dorm at maayos naman ang mga kalagayan nito. Kinabukasan, kasama si Nelly Canada, kinuha namin ang mga gamit ko sa bahay sakay ng isang Innova ng KOJC. At simula noon, doon ako pinatira sa loob ng compound. Habang nasa loob ng KOJC, nakatira ako sa dorm kasama ng ibang mga miyembro. Sa pagkakaalala ko, nag-aaral ako ng grade 5 sa JMC habang binabayaran ng papa ko ang tuition ko, ngunit may discount bilang membro ng KOJC. Sa pang-araw-araw na pamumuhay doon, tinuruan kami na lahat ng gagawin namin ay nakabase sa schedule. Sa umaga, magigising kami para mag-devotional na alas 4 o alas 5. Pagkatapos ng devotional, gagawin namin ang mga assigned tasks o work job na tinatawag kagaya ng pagmamap ng sahig, pagwawalis, pagpunas ng mga furniture sa common area at paglinis ng kwarto. Isang house parent namin ang nag-a-assign ng work job. Naalala ko din na kapag gusto namin lumabas ng compound, madaming dadaan ang proseso at hindi sa lahat ng pagkakataon ay mapapayagan lumabas ng compound. Noong senior high ako, pinalipat ako sa ibang quarters kung saan nakatira ang isang leader na kasama ko. Sa panahong ito, nagsisilbi na ako bilang member ng choir. Kalaunan, na-assign ako sa pastoral department. Meron pa din akong work job at minsan nag-serve ng pagkain ni pastor. Sa panahon iyon, napapansin ko parati niya kasama sa kainan si Stephanie Ibarra, na isa ring pastoral sa inner circle. Sa pagkakaalam ko, At alam din ng lahat na paborito ni Pastor si Stephanie Ibarra. Parati kasama ni Kibuloy si Stephanie kahit saan siya magpunta. Mga taong 2017, naimbitahan ako na kumain sa JMC lobby kasama si Kibuloy at ng iba pang mga inner pastoral. Nalaman ko kalaunan na kapag nakakasama ka na sa ganitong groupings ay malapit ka na mapagbilang sa inner pastoral. Naranasan ko ang ganitong routine ng mga ilang buwan. Pagkatapos ng mga ilang buwan, isang gabi, inibita ako ng isang inner pastoral na si Patricia. Sabi niya sa akin, Marie, pinapatawag ka ni Sir kasi sabay daw tayo maghilot, be presentable. Pagkatapos noon, nag-prepare ako, naligo ako at inayos ko ang aking sarili. Sinamahan ako ni Patricia sa isang private theater ni Kibuloy. Pagdating ko doon, nakita ko si Jacqueline Roy at ibang inner pastoral na nag-aabang sa anumang iutos ni Kibuloy. Habang siya ay nakaupo sa kanyang recliner chair habang nanonood ng movie, pagdating namin doon, binulungan ako ni Patricia na pumesto sa may kaliwang paa ni Kibuloy. Hinilot ni Patricia ang kanang paa habang ako ay nagsimula na maghilot sa kaliwang paa. Si Jacqueline Roy naman ang nagmamasahe sa balikat ni Kibuloy. At sa pagkakataong iyon, naramdaman ko na privilege ako. Kasi hindi lahat may opportunity na makasama si Kibuloy or ang itinuturing namin na anak ng Diyos or appointed son. Sa tuwing nagtestify ang mga inner pastoral sa worship or may event or team building, parati sila nagpapasalamat sa pribilehiyo na binigay ni Kibuloy sa kanila. Kaya iyon ang nakatatak sa isip namin ng mga membro. Ang mga pastoral kasi ang ituturing na most privileged sa Kingdom Nation dahil sila naman ang pinakamalapit kay Kibuloy at nakakasama niya sa iba't ibang lugar at bansa at napaka-well provided. Simula na naghilot ako sa kanya, binigyan ako ni Patricia ng 5,000 pesos kada linggo na pinapabigay daw ni Pastor sa akin bilang allowance ko. Pinapalipat din ako ni Jacqueline Roy sa kwarto ni Patricia kung saan malapit ito sa kwarto ni Kibuloy. Naranasan ko rin maisama sa Hong Kong at magstay sa isang 5-star hotel kasama ang mga inner pastoral. Binigyan din ako ng pocket money na pambili ng anumang gustuhin ko. Nagsimula rin ako maglinis sa kwarto ni Kibuloy kasama ang ibang mga pastoral. Hindi kasi lahat ng miyembro pwede pumasok sa kwarto ni Kibuloy. Nung nanging pastoral na ako, pinagbawalan ako ng mga nakakatandang inner pastoral na pumunta sa mga lugar na madaming lalaki o makipagkaibigan sa mga lalaki. Bilang miyembro ng KOJC, pinagbabawalan rin kami na magkaroon ng boyfriend o gumamit ng cellphone at pinagbabawal pa kami ng iba't pang mga bagay. Noong naramdaman ko na mapapabilang na ako sa inner pastoral, madami ako natanggap na mga bagay kagaya ng pabango, chocolate, damit na galing ibang bansa at iba pa. Ulit-ulit na lang ang ganitong routine sa aking buhay ng ilang taon sa loob ng KOJC compound noong February 2023. Dahil sa kagustuhan kong makapag-aral ng kolehiyo sa labas at sa paniniwala ko naman may kakayanan akong makapag-aral, lumayas ako sa KOJC compound at hindi na bumalik doon. Noong araw na mismo na iyon, pumunta ako kay Patricia dahil alam kong lumayas na din siya sa KOJC compound sa panahong iyon. Doon ko nalaman na inutusan siya ni Jacqueline Roy na ihanda ako para maging membro ng inner pastoral. Sinabi ni Patricia na kinausap din siya ni Kibuloy para ihanda ako na maging membro ng inner circle. Inamin din niya na si Kibuloy Inamin din niya na lahat ng akusasyon na sexual exploitation laban kay Kibuloy na inaakusa ng mga lumabas na pastoral ay totoo. Inamin din ni Patricia na inaalay nila ang katawan, isip, kaluluwa at spirito nila kay Kibuloy para sa mga sexual na gawain at paghihilot ay umpisa lang ng duty sa pagiging inner circle pastoral. Ayon sa kanya, sabi ni Patricia, dito sa panahong ito, sinisubukan ni Kibuloy kung handa na ba ang isang inner pastoral para ialay ang katawan, isip at kaluluwa para sa kanya. At nung nalaman ko iyon, nagtampo ko kay Patricia kasi pakiramdam ko, ilalagay niya pala ako sa kapahamakan. At hindi niya ako sinabihan sa mangyayari sa akin. Pero nagpapasalamat naman ako dahil nakaalis na ako doon sa compound. At hindi ako napagsamandalahan. Kaya ako nagsasalita ngayon dahil as former member, alam ko ng buong operasyon ng KOJC ay bawang panlilin lang lamang. Yun lang po, Madam Chair.
Maraming salamat sa iyo, Marie. So, Mr. Kibuloy, bibigyan ko po kayo ng pagkakataon na magresponde sa mga akusasyong ito at marami po sila. Pero unang tanong po, ilan ang miyembro ng KOJC?
Salamat po, Madam Chair, sa pagkakataong ito na makaharap ko ang lahat ng mga nandirito at narinig ko ang kanilang mga testimonya. At magpasimula po tayo kay Ms. Valdehuesa.
Pastor Kibuloy, Mr. Kibuloy,
Madam
yung
Chair.
tanong ko muna, ilan ang miyembro ng KOJC?
More or less po sa tingnan ko po muna ang exact na
Kahit in estimate po.
more or less po including mga partners, yung ibig sabihin ng partners, yung hindi pa membro, pero covenant partner na sila, mga more or less 7 million.
So kasama, so miyembro plus covenant partners, mga 7 million
Oo.
sa inyong pagkabilang. Okay, sa mga follow-up question ko po, dun sa mga testimonya na ng mga victim survivors, sinexually abuse nyo ba ang mga babae at mga menor de edad? At
Wala
ginamit nyo ba ang relihiyon para i-sexually abuse
Wala
sila?
pong katotohanan yung kanilang mga sinabi. Kung meron po silang mga charges na criminal laban sa akin, malaya po silang mag-file ng kaso at doon ko haharapin at sasagutin sa tamang forum sa korte ng ating lupa tulad ng kinakaharap namin ngayon.
And actually, on that matter and for the record, may at least isa sa victim survivors na dati nang naghain ng kaso sa inyo dun sa Davao, kaya lang dinismiss. Kaya inappeal nila sa Department of Justice. Yun naman pong mga testimonya ni na Ms. Valdehuesa at ni Julia, tinatanggi nyo ba ang mga testimonyang iyon?
Tinatanggi ko po, wala pong mga katotohanan yung kanilang mga sinasabi, kundi sa aking paningin ay kabaligtaran. Ngunit hinahamon ko po silang mag-file ng kaso sapagkat ito'y mga kriminal na mga allegations. At ito ay para maging fair, ay maghain po sila ng mag-file sila ng kaso laban sa akin o kanino mang kanilang gustong mag-file laban sa mga kingdom na leaders or members because we are under the law of the Republic. Tulad po kay Masayon, yung kanyang sinabi.
Pastor, i-interrupt ko muna kayo doon dahil
Oo.
tinatanong ko muna yung mga
Yes.
testimonya ni na Ms. Valdehuesa at ni
Sorry
Julia.
Sorry po.
Pinalimos niyo po ba yung mga bata para i-sustain ang operasyon ng KOJC at
Wala.
para tustusan ang inyong
Wala
lifestyle?
po kaming mga palisiya na magpalimos ang bata. O
Pero
magpalim-
walang polisiya man, pinalimos niyo ba sila?
Hindi po. Wala pong katotohanan yun.
Okay. Eh yung mga adults po,
Ganun din po.
pinalimos niyo ba sila or pinayagan niyo ba silang maglimos para sa operasyon
Hindi po.
at lifestyle
Wala
ng
pong
KOJC?
polisiyang ganon ang kingdom na magpalimos.
Wala mang polisiya pero pinalimos nyo ba sila,
Hindi
yung
po.
mga adults?
Hindi po. Wala pong katotohanan yun.
Alright. Pinayagan nyo ba yung pang-aabuso at pag-torture sa mga miyembro nyo?
Hindi
Halimbawa yung parusang dry fast.
Hindi rin po polisiya ng kingdom ang batas ng pagparusa ng tao ay ipapasting para mamatay.
Napansin ko po, lagi kayong nagre-refer sa polisiya, pero ang tinatanong ko po ay yung practice.
Practice.
So, pinaabuso nyo ba, pinatotorture nyo ba yung mga miyembro nyo? Pinapa-dry fast nyo ba sila?
Sa freedom of religion po natin, meron tayong separation of church and state. At tulad ng sinabi ko, yung fasting ay voluntary kung tatanggapin mo. Hindi po ipinipilit.
Alright. Kayo ba yung nakaisip nung modus na piliting magpakasal yung mga miyembro nyo na hindi naman magkarelasyon para manatili sila sa ibang bansa? Sino pong nakaisip nun, nung modus na yon?
Because this is under the investigation already, I invoke my right to remain silent on this issue.
All right. Quickly lang po kay Ate Gingging, yung dry fast po ba, voluntary ba ito?
No, for sure.
No. All right. Salamat
It
po.
was an instruction.
Instruction. So, hindi siya voluntaryo, instruction or utos siya. All right. Salamat po. Mr. Kibuloy, boses niyo ba yung nasa audio file kanina, yung binabantaan mo yung si Stephanie o si Pane?
Kailangan po i-authenticate kasi ngayon malakas ang AI.
So pero boses niyo ba yon, yung nagbabanta kay Pane o kay Stephanie?
It appears na parang boses ko. Pero
Alright.
hindi ko po ma-authenticate kasi ngayong panahon na to malakas ang AI.
At
Kaya-
sino po si Stephanie Ibarra? Sino po si Pane?
Isa po sa mga manggagawa.
Manggagawa. Ano po yung relationship o relasyon niyo kay Pane o Stephanie Ibarra?
Isa pong manggagawa.
Isang manggagawa. Pero hindi ba totoo na kinupkup nyo siya, kinuha nyo sa inyong pag-aalaga nung siya ay 2 years old pa lamang?
With this issue po kay Pane, I invoke my right din to remain silent.
All right. So, pero sa pagkaalam po namin, inalagaan nyo siya nung bata pa lamang siya. So, parang naging tatay kayo ni Stephanie o Pane Ibarra. Tama po ba?
I invoke my right to remain silent
Invoke.
po sa issue na yan.
Okay. Kasi sa audio file naman po, sa kabila nung sa pagkaalam ay kinupkup nyo siya nung 2 years old pa lamang, bata pa lang siya, na parang naging tatay kayo niya. Pero sa audio file, bakit parang asawa? Asawa nyo kung ituring itong si Stephanie o Pane.
I invoke my right to remain silent on that
Alright.
issue rin po.
Ngayon po, kino-confirm nyo po ba na meron kayong isang hukbo o private army sa inyong disposal? At ano po iyang tinatawag na angels of death?
Yan po ay kasinungalingan at kung yan ay akusasyon, inihiling ko ang accuser na mag-file siya ng kaso laban sa akin.
Okay. So, sinasabi nyo kasinungalingan yung isang hukbo na nasa inyong disposal.
Opo.
Pero ano naman po yung angels of death?
Hindi ko po, invento po nila yan eh.
Imbento lamang.